Hi, my name is Lauren and welcome to TV 1061. Join our network and broadcast your film live across the continent. Come to our studio and film and stream your TV show, sitcom, and showcase and broadcast it worldwide. Combine multimedia with your live stream. Independent filmmakers show your movie and afterwards interview your cast live. Sponsors, advertisers, I'm talking to you. This is your chance for global exposure. These are exciting times that we're in. Traditional TV is but a thing of the past. TV 1061 is on the Roku platform. Roku is an industry leader in internet TV. It has a viewership of 53 million and counting. It is the most popular and fastest growing internet TV platform. If you are interested in developing and showcasing your movie or show, or interested in coming in as a sponsor or advertiser, please send us your contact information with a brief description of your interest to 1061tv@gmail.com. Thank you.
Today's world exposes our youth to life experiences that are well beyond that which their years should allow. Violence, trauma, poverty, injustice. Our children's lives and their livelihoods are in constant danger. Wisdom Inc. is a community-based organization designed to save young lives by reducing violence and assisting youth in their personal development. Wisdom stands for wise individuals structuring and developing youthful minds. Through our collective wisdom, we can change lives for the better. Wisdom Inc., reducing violence, developing youth, saving lives.
You are tuned in to Talk Show Kings on TV 1061.
Man, what they gonna do with this black on black crime, man? I'm sick of this. Thank you for watching another edition of Talk Show Kings on TV 1061. We'll be seeing you soon.
Good evening and welcome to another episode of Talk Show Kings. Today we want to thank everyone from Douglasville area for joining in and watching the show. Also, we want to thank all the people around the world that's watching the show and welcoming us into their household. And furthermore, let me go ahead and make sure that I also thank our producer, Felix Washington, for giving us the opportunity to come to you every week bringing you these shows. Now, today we got we actually have one good topic, and we're going to be talking about the hot topics of the week as well. But first, we're going to go through our introductions. My name is King Eric, and to my left,
King Yaquez, and to my left,
King Trib, and to my left,
I'm King Darwin.
And together,
we are the Talk Show Kings.
All right. We're going to jump right into it.
Do it.
Now, the topic for today, we're going to be talking about the election, because that's coming up in 2 days, November the 5th on Tuesday. But we're going to go over some hot chatter of the week right now. Let's see, which one of y'all want to start off? What you got, King Quiz?
I'll start off. We got Young Thug getting out of jail. I ain't gonna say he won his case because he still had to do a plea deal, but he's finally out after 2 years, I believe.
Yeah, 2 years.
I mean, it's crazy. I mean, what do y'all got to say about it?
What do you get? Time?
Hey, well, yeah, I'm
15 years probation, I think.
Yeah, he got what? Yeah,
That's like a 40-year.
15-year probation, and if he mess up, what he get 20 years?
20 years.
Yeah.
But it is good to see, the brother get out of prison, after sitting in there for 2 years, whether he was guilty or not. I try to, think that
Now
it's good for anybody to get out of jail.
The biggest question
Is
is, would y'all taken that deal, knowing what kind of shark his lawyer is? I would have cranked up the jury a third time.
I mean, for me, it's was he really guilty? Is he really responsible for the things they charged him of? So, if so, yeah, I'm taking that plea. But I mean, if not, I mean, absolutely not. If I'm innocent, I'm innocent. I'm not taking no plea deals.
I mean, if you're looking at don't mean to cut you off, King Trib. If you're looking at the evidence, I think the evidence was there. I just think that the prosecution didn't do their job correctly.
Yeah.
Oh, someone's definitely getting fired
That's
in the
what I
DA's
think.
office.
Yeah.
Well, I think he did plead guilty to most of the offenses, and then he pled no contest to, I think it was like 3 of the offenses, right? So he did plead guilty to
But one
most
thing
of the
I believe
offenses.
is he just wanted to be home. I think he was just tired. And I totally understand. I mean, if you wanted to fight it, go on a fight. You got a shark of a lawyer, but at this point, he was just tired. The second mistrial? I mean, they should have gave it with prejudice.
I mean, in my knowledge of court situations, when it's mistrials, they throw that stuff out.
Yeah.
So
Well, it depends if it's with prejudice or without prejudice.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, all of that it weighs into how they word it. But here's my question. I'm gonna ask you guys this, Kings. Let's just say if you knew that those charges were if those charges were accurate, how would you feel about that person being back on the street, even though they getting the probation and everything? If it's just somebody in your neighborhood, let's just say if it wasn't a Young Thug, but it was somebody else that you knew that was terrorizing and in gangs and everything, how would you feel if they were back loose on the street?
I mean, I wouldn't feel nothing. I mean, if you're on probation, you got that one time to mess up. So you just got to keep your nose clean.
Well, with me, I would think that it all depends on how guilty he is. For me. I don't condone nobody killing people. That's one thing that I don't condone. If you killed somebody and you're responsible for murdering somebody, I think you do deserve to spend some time in prison. He spent 2 years, but I don't know if they actually convicted him of the murders. Or was it him calling the murders, or was it him?
Well, I agree with you as far as him spending 2 years and behind bars. I mean, I don't know if it was 2 years celebrity style prison, or he's really dealing with some hardcore people based on his charges. But I'm perplexed when it comes to, because a little bit about my background. I've had group homes. I've been a foster parent for at-risk youth. So I've dealt with the mindset of hardcore criminals at a young age. And no matter what you say to them, they have it fixated in their mind that what they're doing is okay. And they do need to sit down for a while.
Okay.
Because they're going to hurt somebody else. And, what if it was my mom?
And that's what I was
understand
getting
what
ready
I'm
to
saying?
come to next.
Yeah.
What about if you're the family. This is the last question. Then we're gonna move on to the next hot topic. If you're the family of someone that person has murdered, how do you think they're feeling to see that man, see them back out on the street?
It'll feel absolutely terrible.
Yeah, be mortified. Like, I mean, because they want justice and they deserve justice. So, I mean, as much as I feel like as a black community, I think we've been down so much and misrepresented and judged and you know, opportunities we haven't been able to afford it, good opportunities. We root for the bad guy. And so when we get things like this, we're kind of numb to that type of behavior unless it hits home, like you said. If it was my family member or my son or my mom, then we feel a way. But if it's not, we're kind of numb to it, and it kind of reminds me of the Michael Vick trial. You know, coming from the hood, you're like, man, you wasn't tripping on no dogs fighting. Like, we didn't feel no type of way. Like, you understand what I'm saying? Because that's where we come from. Like, we're numb to that. But other people that didn't come from that were mortified. Like, oh my God, he was killing dogs, responsible. And they just had a different feeling about it. So I just think as a culture of being an African-American male.
Oh, we got a call. You're on the phone with Talk Show Kings. What you got for us?
Hey. I'm up here looking at the topic y'all talking about now. Y'all taking open calls right now?
Yes, we are.
Okay. My name is Gino Jennings. Reside in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm here in Atlanta. Originally from Akron, Ohio. I'm up here tuned in, listening to y'all segment right now.
Oh, thanks for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in.
All right, thanks for calling in, hometown. What's your comment or concern?
Man, I'm just tapping in with the conversation that y'all talking about in reference to with YSL, Young Thug.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, how do you feel about that? Him getting released.
How do you feel about him getting released?
How I feel about him getting released?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, money was spent, and then you're dealing with the judicial system. Justice was served. Everything was weighed out evenly. Everything was weighed out evenly. Right. Say it one more time.
Oh, no, we just listen. Keep going.
I feel it's deserved. He had a right to fight for his rights, and he stood tall on it. He stood on the square, and it was a mutual agreement amongst both parties, with the defense and also the legal system that was representing him.
Yeah.
Well, all right.
Yeah.
We appreciate your call in and your comments.
Yeah, we appreciate your comments and calling in and everything, sir.
You there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, we appreciate your call in.
Okay, no doubt, man. Y'all keep rocking, man. I'm watching.
All right, brother.
Thank you.
All right.
All right.
All right, so
Hometown calling in.
I see.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
All the Ohio folks around here. The Cleveland Browns can't even win a game right now. But we ain't going to talk about that. But moving on to the next hot chatter.
Shooting shots right now.
What you got, King Trib? What you got?
I think I wanted to talk about the Kim Porter audio tapes that just came out.
I've listened to them.
And man, it blew my mind, bro. And I'm not want to keep harping on Diddy because I had mixed feelings about the whole situation. And number one was Hugh Hefner. He the Playboy Mansion. How many celebrities, superstars, athletes have not passed through the Playboy Mansion for years on years, and he's only been celebrated? They're doing drugs in there. They're having sex. underage women living in the house with this man, this elderly man, by my might add, and it's always been celebrated. So we know that's just what happens. Athletes, entertainers, we know, people sign up for that, and the women, these actors, these entertainers that are saying now that he did X, Y, and Z. I just like, you knew what you signed up for. As long as you was not underage, I wasn't trying to hear it. But listening to Kim Porter's audio tapes blew my mind. That brother is evil, and I really believe at this point he has something to do with her death. A lot of things she revealed, like she overheard discussions about him plotting for Biggie's death. His infatuation with males sexually, that she knew that he definitely loved sex with men more than women. The triangles that he tied her into with threesomes and whatever, freak offs or whatever. And I give him a pass on that because she's grown. She could do what she wants. She didn't have to do it, but she said at a point, she just felt unsafe that she had to do it because he would get violent when telling him no. And and it's sad. It's sad because I believe that it happens more than we know, especially with people with money, especially people that don't have our skin color, and it's washed under the rug. I don't advocate for anyone that's doing things on that level, having people murdered and things of that nature, but I think it's one-sided when it comes to that. And I believe the affluent that have different races do this type of stuff all the time. And when we say something about it, it's a conspiracy theory. But fortunately, she released these tapes and then she ends up dead. And
isn't it like in one of the final words of the book, "He got me"?
Yeah.
Those were the final words of the book. "He got me."
It blew my mind. But her ex-boyfriend or baby father, Albie Shore, was talking about it as well, saying that he got sick after he was getting ready to release his book. Something happened. And then Jamie Foxx reiterated that he felt like Diddy drugged him. But Kim Porter in her autobiography said that Jamie was sleeping around with men as well. So it's a lot of stuff. But I remember Karine Steffen, they called Superhead.
Yeah.
When she opened her book, wrote her first book, she talked about Diddy being in the lifestyle.
And you got to understand, too, I didn't listen to the audiobook, so I can't really comment on what she did say. But you got to understand, if he violated you to this extent, why didn't you go to the police?
Well,
why didn't you report him?
Well, at the time, his money went so long, intimidating witnesses and all that. He got the bread to do all that.
Yeah,
I said people were just scared. Now that he's locked up, you got people coming out the woodworks. Well, he did this.
If somebody did that to you, drugged you, would you not tell somebody? Would you?
But it depends on how much power they got.
Right, because if you got somebody,
but it's your life. He just violated you. He drugged you. He sexually assaulted you.
And I understand exactly what you're saying, but there's so many people out there living in fear because of what somebody else did to them, to where if they go and talk to somebody,
maybe
like
they're not even listening either,
but
right?
you know what?
Maybe their life is in danger, and then maybe the police, because they did say a couple people probably did.
But you know what? I hear
the police.
I hear the fear aspect of it,
but
understanding the power of money, I don't really think in a lot of these cases it really was fear, so much as I don't want to get rid of this lifestyle. Like, have you ever been around a millionaire? And this dude was a billionaire.
Right.
Like, anything. He probably bought her whatever she wanted. She lived however she wanted to live, travel wherever she wanted to go. I have to release this. If I expose this man, my whole life as I know it is different.
So playing the devil's advocate, is that right?
No, I don't think it's right. But I mean, who raised you?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? What have you been exposed to? You don't know what you would do until you exposed to what people are exposed to. Like I'd say, the way I was raised, the way my father raised me, it's certain things I just wouldn't do because it was banged into my psyche that this is not what men do. So if it even was presented to me, it's gonna feel different. I wouldn't even allow it in my headspace. But some of these people weren't bred like that. Most black people didn't come up with money, wasn't around people with money, so they were unaware of what the power of money could even do to you. You understand what I'm saying? Like how you feel to be on somebody's yacht. This is my boyfriend. I'm on his yacht. I don't have to go to work.
But to accept, like I say, you know, like you say, playing the devil's advocate, you know, it's two sides to the fence, man. Because if he got money like that, of course, he shouldn't been, you know, abusive or drugging people or even, as y'all was saying, murdering people.
And,
but
you know, I agree.
That's crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah, that's
I agree
crazy.
with that. But let's move on to the next part. What's your chatter for the week?
I just saw something on the social media along with the Young Thug getting out. BMF, Big Meech got out too. So they released him out of prison. I think about a week and a half ago.
Yeah.
So you know, he's one of Atlanta's, you know, what you would say,
had the billboard downtown.
Big stars.
85.
Yeah, right.
BMF Entertainment.
So yeah, they let Big Meech out, and so they letting a couple people out of the prison system, man, right now. So I think.
What's your thought about him being out?
Like you say, my thought on him being out. Like I say, I wish everybody, you know, wouldn't have to serve time in the prison systems. That ain't no place for nobody. But if you do commit a crime, I feel that you should pay the cost for the crime, right? So, but what is the crime? How long should somebody serve, right?
But I mean, if you did the crime and you beat it, I mean,
if you did the crime and you beat it, then you winning.
What Carlston White say? What he say about black folks?
What he say?
That they need to go to jail. Like certain people need to go to jail to learn. Like you need to learn how to be a productive person in life. And I'm not saying that's the case with him.
Right.
But my issue, I'm definitely not a hater, man. I mean, I don't know the man personally. I know what I've heard, and you know, I have mixed emotions about the celebration of him coming home and him being a celebrity. Number one, because he was involved in people's family members being taken from this earth, whether he did it or not, or his BMF crew, he still backed it, and you can't get life back. You know, no matter how much he's been a giver and blessed people and sent people to college and blessed people with cars and money, you can't pay for somebody's life you've been a part of taking. Well, and should he be celebrated on that level? Has he spoken publicly the remorse for what he's done or been a part of? I haven't heard anything.
Yeah, I don't know. And how long did he actually do?
I don't know.
He's supposed to do 30 years, so
he actually probably did about what?
He did 20.
20 at least.
Maybe 15. I think maybe 17 years. I'm not sure.
Oh, it was about 20.
I'm not sure, but
20 of the darnest.
I'm not, you know, I don't.
But anyway, if he did the time, you know, and paid, you know, like you said, the system is crooked. You know, all of these crimes has been created to pretty much, you know, cripple us anyway. You know, they've been created to put us in prison for anything. You know, that's just like with the crack epidemic. Remember when it came out? You know, you get caught with one piece of crack, you going to prison. You get caught with criminal tools, they locking you up. But you know now, when you dealing with these other, you know, pharmaceutical drugs that's hitting the market, you know, far as with the fentanyl and the oxycodone and you dealing with all of those drugs, now they want to rehabilitate. You know, now it's not a crime. You know, they just, hitting them with the Narcan and sending them home, So it's a difference to me when you're dealing, is it really a crime or did they just make it a crime? Because everybody got a freedom of choice, freedom of free will, right? They got free will if they want to indulge in that, if they don't, if they do, but at the same time, the justice system is definitely way different. Like you say, if you got caught with coke, powder, it was different if you got caught with crack.
Yeah.
You know why? Because most of us did crack and not the powder. So, so it was a little different.
Yeah, I think that just speaking, going back with the BMF and seeing everybody, Big Meech, Thug, them getting out of jail, I don't know. I just don't know what to think about it anymore because
it's organized crime going on all over.
Circumstances, if it was just someone from the neighborhood that didn't have the money that they had, I know that wouldn't happen.
Exactly.
That wouldn't happen. But being that everything now goes by how much money you make to a certain extent, but it's still certain things like that wouldn't happen.
I mean, it goes back to what we was just talking about, the last hot topic.
Yeah.
Money.
You
know what I'm saying? Like, money is powerful, and people overlook a lot of things for money. You know, unfortunately.
But that's all we have for the hot chatter of the week. We're going to go ahead and get into our topic. And don't forget, you can call us at the numbers at the bottom of the screen. It's 770-485-7724. And if you want to give donations, you can also give donations. And our Cash App is is $TV1061. That's $10TV61. All right. On to our main topic of the day. November the 5th. Voting. Early voting just ended. Did anybody early vote besides me?
Yes, sir. I early voted.
Nah, I haven't voted.
Okay. Do you plan on voting, sir?
Nah, I'm not planning on voting.
Okay, that's great. That's great. That's great. It ain't great, but that's what you want to do. I mean, look, I just have a question. Why do you decide not to vote?
I'm deciding not to vote because I don't want to see either of them in office. I mean, people would be like, well, just pick the lesser of the two evils. I'm like, how can you pick the lesser of the two evils? You don't even know what their intentions are. One, we had a circus for 4 years with one. Another one, we don't know what her true intentions are.
Okay.
I mean, she speaks good, and people always be like, well, her policies is this, Trump's policies is this. I call them promises.
I mean, everything that someone says is always promises until they're able to get those promises fulfilled. Because we have to understand that Congress is the ones that pulls the trigger on that. Now, if they back it, that's the reason why we got to have voting in these smaller elections. So that way, when we do have someone in office, a president in office that has these promises that you want to call them, but these policies that they want to get passed, their Congress can actually help them pass that law or pass that policy. Now, I get that you don't want to vote for the president. I get it. But there's a lot more stuff on that ballot other than just presidency.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And those things affects not just you, they affects everybody that lives in your community, that lives in the state, that lives in this area. So if you're not voting, if you're choosing not to go to the polls because you don't want to vote for the president, go to the polls just to make your neighborhood better. Just to vote for the stuff. You ain't got to tell us who you voting for. If you said you didn't vote for the president, you voted. I vote because I know my ancestors gave up their life to vote. I vote because I know if I didn't vote, my grandmama might come back from the dead and whoop my. That's why I vote. So it don't matter if I like the candidate or not. There's other things on there there's other things on there that that's going to affect not just me, but everybody in my community as well. And it's bills being passed that they're trying to pass that's going to make it harder for everyone else. And if you choose to stay away from the poll because of a president, you're staying away from the poll, not just for the president, but for the things that's going on in your community as well.
That's right.
I say, I understand.
So,
That's right.
King Trib,
I agree. I mean, it's you know, I'm not saying that I'm for Kamala Harris, but I'm definitely not for Trump. And the big thing with Trump, not just because of his ignorance. I mean, he has done everything possible to lose an election, and he's still tight in the poll. It taught me so much about America and what we live in and who we are and how white America views us. Not just white America, just other cultures view us, because we're in danger. We're like really endangered species, black people. And because a few of us have a little money and they let us do a couple things, I think we've missed the big picture. Because, you know, a little bit about my background, I had group homes for at-risk youth, orphan youth. I have community development centers for impoverished neighborhoods in Ohio. So my ear has always been to the street. I've always talked to impoverished people. And one of the big things is that we're so misinformed. We don't know the things that are going on outside of our neighborhoods, our areas, which is this big. So we don't really understand politics. I'm not a political person at all, but I do understand that I have to do my part. I have no right to say anything about whatever's going on if I don't do my part and leave the rest up to God. But I have to do something. You know, my whole mission is to change the social fabric of our impoverished neighborhoods. But I tell people all the time, I'm not big on talking about issues. I'm big on solutions. So we find out the issue, let's don't keep meeting about it. Let's start doing something towards that. And number one is voting. You got to vote on what you believe in. So what I don't believe in, I don't know what Kamala is all about. I honestly don't. People get on her because she backed Biden. What's she supposed to do? She's the vice president.
Exactly.
She's supposed to go against him? That makes no sense to me.
Now, we're gonna hold it right there because we got to take a break.
Yes, sir.
And stay tuned. Like I said, if you have any questions and you want to call in, but we'll be back right after these commercial breaks.
All right.
Hi, my name is Lauren, and welcome to TV 1061. Join our network and broadcast your film live across the continent. Come to our studio and film and stream your TV show, sitcom, and showcase and broadcast it worldwide. Combine multimedia with your live stream. Independent filmmakers show your movie and afterwards interview your cast live. Sponsors, advertisers, I'm talking to you. This is your chance for global exposure. These are exciting times that we're in. Traditional TV is but a thing of the past. TV 1061 is on the Roku platform. Roku is an industry leader in internet TV. It has a viewership of 53 million and counting. It is the most popular and fastest growing internet TV platform. If you are interested in developing and showcasing your movie or show, or interested in coming in as a sponsor or advertiser, please send us your contact information with a brief description of your interest to 1061tv@gmail.com. Thank you.
All right, welcome back to the second part of our show. We were talking about elections, and in the middle, I had cut King Trib off. I apologize, but we had to take that break.
No problem.
But I'm going to get back to you. Go ahead and finish your statement.
So all I was saying is that I don't know anything about, Kamala Harris, because she hasn't been president, and she wasn't governor. She wasn't, we didn't have a chance to track. But I see a lot of people giving her flack because she backed what President Biden, his policies and whatever. I'm like, what was she supposed to do as vice president? She's supposed to go against, her, the president. It didn't make any sense. But to give her a chance, I'm with it. You know what I mean? But the more so, I'm kind of really excluding her, as president, as far as me having issues with her or doubts about her. I'm more so concerned about ex-President Trump, because he's proven to us who he is, and he's really, really gave me an understanding of where we at as a race, as a country, and racism, and how racism still very much so exists, how people are backing him like you've never ever heard. I'm 52 years old. We've never heard in the history of presidencies, presidents being elected with his credentials, with how he speaks and his disregard for public policy or thought or expression. I just saw a clip of him doing the something with his hand, like Kamala, giving head, and like previously talking about fondling women. Like, he does whatever he wants. He's done everything possible I've known for any individual to run for president to be excluded, from his felony charges to how he speaks about women, about how his disregard of how he handles himself in public. I saw interviews of him talking about his own daughter sexually. Like, dude is just, I just don't get it. I don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
But go ahead, you getting ready to say something?
I say, I understand about all that. Like, out of the two evils, there's no one to pick. I mean, you got one that's doing all that you said. My biggest gripe with Kamala is, at one of her rallies, you bring Megan Thee Stallion out, twerking on stage, and it's like, is that really how you think of us? You can't bring a reputable black person to speak. You got to bring people twerking.
Okay.
So do you understand the masses of our culture?
Michael.
I understand the masses of our culture, but bring someone reputable. Don't have twerkers on stage. I know,
and I agree. I definitely agree with you too, Jacquez, because this is what they do. They make a mockery of us, and use us for how they want to use us, and that's a good prime example. Just like you said, you bringing somebody out that's very disrespectful, to our culture. We don't even have a culture because it's American culture. And that's not really our culture. It's the melting pot's culture,
Exactly.
So I don't claim it, but at the same time, we got to understand too, they say Cornel West is on the ticket. So you might can vote for Cornel West. He was supposed to be on the ticket if you don't want to vote, but I'm opting out, of voting, because I know in this presidential election, it's really the electoral votes anyway that they count. It's not the popular vote. The popular vote is for the people, but at the end of the day, it's the electorals in the state that's is going to say it's got the final say in who's going to be the president.
But don't the popular vote counts toward the electoral votes?
It doesn't.
Not
Not necessarily.
Oh, I'm just asking.
They don't have
I want
to.
to know what
That's
your
the
thoughts are.
catch-22.
Just like Hillary.
That's the catch-22.
She won the popular vote, but still lost the election.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
You see? So it doesn't really matter. It's all a game. They already know who's going to be the president.
They do.
They already know.
Now,
But
Trust and believe. They already know.
And they do know, but still, I can't rest not knowing I didn't do my part. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
Because I'm a solution-based individual. And I get what you're saying about, them bringing, I'm definitely not for that. I'm old school R&B. Like I said, I'm from a different generation. These Cardi B, Sexy Red, Gorilla, whatever, and they appall me.
No bueno,
But what I'm saying is, I understand marketing. I understand politics, bro. The people that don't vote is the people that they're using that tactic to get the vote. Oh, see that Cardi B, see? So those people that don't vote, so now they know how easy we are influenced. That particular age bracket and people that think that way, that's for that. That's not for intellectual black culture people. Because we're already going to make a conscious vote based on other things. So they have to use what they need
to get the votes.
To get those votes.
You know what I'm
saying? So it's marketing. Sometimes you have to do things that are less popular to your soul. in what you believe because of the higher good. So if I know people are in love with Sexy Red or whatever, Lotto, whoever these girls
The
are.
twerker rappers.
The twerker rappers.
Right.
If I know what my policies are and what I mean to do for my culture or for America, that I have to go through those people, I got to let down some of my standards and some of my values to win them over, knowing what my bigger goal is. So it's about the bigger goal. It's like my grandfather used to say, like, you know, about women being young. You want to run down the hill real quick and get your poke on. Like, no, bro, slow walk. You slow walk down, and then you have your pick of the litter. Slow walking, but they're young, they're impressionable. We're talking about an election. We have to do something now. They don't have time to slow walk those young people into understanding who would be the best candidate. Because they're look at how many of the rappers are going for Trump and why. Look at why. It's the why for me. Like he's marketing too. He's getting rappers and he's doing different things that appall me as well. And he's getting impressionable minds to fall on to what he's talking about as well. So, like you said, I'm not saying it's an evil over here, other than some of the tactics used to get votes. You know what I mean? So right. I'm with you, but you definitely have to. You can't, in my eyes, you can't sit back and say I'm just gonna let. It's just like I'm gonna let the fate of the world happen without my input.
But do your input matter? It don't matter.
I believe it does.
If they already, well,
but if you don't believe it does, then I understand.
Right? Yeah, it don't.
But
matter.
I believe it does.
That's the trade.
See,
you just putting in your work,
yeah.
But it really don't matter at the end of the day who they're gonna pick to run this country.
But it matters in a sense.
It matters in a sense.
You know why it matters? You know why it matters? Because see, at the end of the day, let's just say it don't matter who I voted for. I'm just gonna say, let's just say I did vote for Trump.
Mm-hmm.
If I voted for Trump and he don't get into office, guess what? I can still speak on the dislike that I have for the things that's being done that I voted against. I can speak on that. But if I'm gonna sit here and say, well, I don't like either one of them, and I didn't vote, period. I'm talking about didn't even go to the poll and vote. I can't speak on none of that what happened. So if my taxes go up, guess what? They just go up. If my community is still living in a poverty situation because my vote could have helped change that, I can't speak on it.
And that's okay with me. And that's okay with me.
But it may be okay.
That's okay with me. Yeah,
it may be okay
because
with you,
I understand fate.
But see, I'm gonna tell you something. Here's the thing: how can we sit up here at this talk show and talk about bettering our communities when we can't even do the one thing that's gonna even try to help better our community?
See, you keep saying trying to help. Right. Listen, that's not going to help.
The first
because
step
we
is
don't
voting.
but we don't have no say so.
We have say
it's
so.
And
listen.
No,
we have
your
say
vote
so.
do not count. Listen, the electoral. It's the electoral.
Listen to what I'm saying. I'm not talking about just this. I'm not talking about just this election. I'm not talking about just this election. I'm talking about the other elections too. I'm not talking about the presidential election. I'm talking about the other stuff that's on that ballot for the presidential election.
It's nothing.
It is other things on that ballot.
It is.
It's other things on that ballot. They trying to raise taxes in Douglasville.
They got a lot of tax things, amendments and stuff that's on there. Yes, it's other agendas on there. It's way more than
so people just looking at the
tax
everything goes all the way down to the state level.
Yeah.
Oh, we got another caller. Talk Show Kings, what do you got?
Hi, my name is Hannah.
Say that one more time. We couldn't hear you.
My name is Hannah.
All right, how are you doing today?
I'm good. I just wanted to iterate about Donald Trump.
Oh, what you got?
I don't know if you all heard or if you remember, but he said that if he was elected this time, that he would be the last president we ever had.
Whoa, I didn't hear that.
They changed it to the fact that we never have another president. It would just be him.
I didn't ever heard that.
Yeah, I heard about that.
We'll speak on that.
That's scary. We'll speak on that.
That's scary.
Is it true?
That he was going to make it a dictatorship.
We'll speak on that.
That makes sense,
And it
Tom,
would
but I've
only
never heard
be
it.
him.
All right, we thank you for your call. We're
Thank
gonna
you
get
for
on that
that,
topic right now. So
Thank you.
Thank you, Tanner.
Yeah.
So here's the thing with that. That goes back to that Project 2025 thing. You see how he sits up here and he admires Putin. He admires the North Korean president because they're all dictators. What he's trying to do is he's saying that he wants to be just like them, meaning that he wants to be the last president. So if he's elected, he's trying to rewrite everything to where it can be the last. So he will be the president until he dies.
But question, how can he do that? I mean, isn't it in the Constitution?
They have to vote on it,
But you got this. Have you read the Project 2025?
Yeah, I've read it.
Okay. So
I mean, but the thing is
if he can sit there and bring that out, and the stuff is in the Constitution about taking all this stuff about black slavery and all that stuff out of board education, you don't think that these same folks ain't gonna back him? Because if they wasn't gonna back him, they wouldn't have him sitting up there. They wouldn't have him in that position to be running for president.
I don't really honestly believe that people are really understanding what's really happening right now.
No, they don't.
People really don't really understand. This is a spiritual war, man.
Yeah,
This is a spiritual war, man. You got to understand that, you know, we talk about, just like we talked earlier about murdering people, killing people by choosing to do, you know, things that may not fit along with, you know, the laws of the land, right? Well, Trump, he hasn't killed anybody. Kamala,
That you know
she done
about.
put people in prison for life. That's killing people. Just like Biden created the crime bill that put people in jail for life. That then took away kids' fathers, mothers for life, killed people. People don't really understand the severity of that. And they think that that's just something that we can take lightly and just say, oh, that's what they did back then, or that's what they doing, you know, or blase blah. But these people have actually, you know, and Kamala did it for marijuana, you know, put people in jail for the rest of their lives.
And isn't she talking
You know,
about if she wins, she's
Trump
gonna...
ain't never killed nobody.
That we
He
know
ain't killed
about.
none of us.
Now that we know about.
He ain't, yeah, exactly. So that's what I'm saying. Well, we know. And then you got to understand, too, you know, she's Indian. And if you look up the name Kamala in the Indian traditions, that's a demonic name. Kamala got a demonic name herself. Her middle name even fits with the demon. You understand what I'm saying?
And
so that's just like if you go into the polls and you're voting for Lucifer. If Lucifer's name was on that poll and Lucifer, you vote, that's what basically, you know, we're doing, because we don't understand the severity of what we're doing, because we just look at things and listen to what, you know, the media is saying and what other people is saying. But this thing is very serious. So, and
see,
just do your research, because
that's the
the
thing.
Kamala Devi is a demonic entity.
So let me make sure I'm understanding you. So because of a name, what if the name was?
If it was Lucifer, would you
No,
go vote
no,
for
I'm
him?
just saying. What if the name was Jesus?
No, but I'm just saying, as I said, a demonic
I'm
name.
just asking the question. What if
Jesus
the name? What if
is
the name
Jesus.
was Jesus?
No, I'm talking about a demonic name.
That's not what I'm saying.
I'm not
That's what
talking
I'm
about
saying,
I'm not
because,
trying to say-
So does the name make the person?
Do the
or
name
do
make the person?
make the name?
Okay, so if the person's name was Lucifer and Lucifer was on the ballot, would you vote for Lucifer?
Does the
Okay, I'm
name-
just saying. If it was,
listen
I'm
to what saying.
asking you a question.
No.
If a man's name was Lucifer and his name was on the ballot, would you vote for Lucifer?
It depends.
Okay, well then that's what I'm saying.
It depends.
Okay,
and I'm saying, the reason why I say it depends because anybody can have a name. You might have a name of somebody who I didn't like when I was 10 years old.
But I'm
and
not
I still,
gonna-
hold
Yeah.
up, and I still dislike them, and you may be the right person for the job. You may be the person that can do that job, but I'm gonna disagree. I'm just gonna cut you out because I don't like your name.
That's right.
Now,
That's right.
this-
Because
and-
the universe
let me
see
ask you-
that.
But let me ask
because
this.
you know why?
Listen, let me ask you, is that fair? Just let me ask you that. Is that fair because I use your name because I dislike your name because of something that happened to me years ago, or just something that happened because somebody else had that name? Is it fair?
Okay, and let me answer. Because no, that's not fair.
That's all I want to know.
But all I can do is look at their actions. Now, if you carrying on this name, and then I look at the actions that you have acted out in this world, then I can apply that to you. Because like you said, like I was saying, she has put people in prison for life over these crimes that now is legal. But
And
she
then
didn't
she
destroy
just said
life. But
also-
hold on. Let me finish. Let me finish. Okay, let me finish. And then you got her also what she did for the school systems out there in California for truancy. She was locking up parents because their kids wasn't going to school.
They do that here.
And but this is what I'm saying though. She locked up a parent that her child had a disability, and it was well documented in the school systems. And she locked this woman up. You see what I'm saying? So these is things that she's not really, y'all ain't really taking accountability on who this person is. Yes, she might, and she's lied about her ethnicity. She's Indian, but then she says she's black, then she's Indian, but y'all don't, and then y'all want to consider her being a black woman, but at the same time, she's not black. She's an Indian. She already said that on several talk shows.
Oh, we got
gotta
another caller.
These are lies too.
Hold on.
Just like
Talk Show
Trump.
Kings, what you got for us?
My name is Chelsea. I just have a quick question.
Oh, go ahead.
For the guys that do vote, my question is, why do you guys think that by us voting now would change anything compared to what history has proved in the past?
I want to answer that question. For me, I'm a spiritual being, and I believe the Bible. And the Bible says that God clearly says faith without works is dead. So if I don't do my part, I can't expect God to do his.
Okay. So, but history has proved that we have over 30 years of voting and nothing has changed. The biggest thing that hasn't changed has been minimum wage. That has been the same for I don't know how long. So that's why I asked, why do you guys think voting would change right now compared to what history has shown?
The last 100 years.
Over and over again.
So here's my answer to that. Number one, in the last 30 years or the last 100 years, people who had the right to vote, they don't vote. You have those people that still don't go out and vote. And if voting wasn't important, why would they try to stop us and take that voting right away from you? Why would they charge people in Mississippi $2 to vote? Why would they do all these things when you go to prison and you get a felony? They take that voting right away from you.
That's a good point.
If voting wasn't important, they wouldn't do all of that. They'll just go ahead and say, hey, this the president, this the vice president, and that'll be the end of it.
Right.
This is the mayor, this is your town manager or whoever, and that'll be the end of that. We wouldn't have to vote. But voting is important because if it didn't, they never would allow women to vote. They never would allow black folks to vote. We'd all still be living in the 1960s and 50s in the civil rights when we was trying to get all those rights.
Well, that's where we still are at. We still there. We still back there, sir.
Listen, I'm not saying that everything is perfect, but the thing is, if you're not voting, and they count on certain people not to vote. So I hope that answered your question.
Oh, I kind of agree with King Darwin when he said that he believes that it's rigged in a way. Like, just think about how football is. They already know who's going to win. It's too much money on the line for them to not know who's going to win the game. So do you think politics is the same way?
Somewhat. Somewhat, but I think it matters to an extent. I mean, if not, we might as well have a dictatorship. I mean, it's something, like he said, if they wouldn't fight the powers they wouldn't fight us to vote if it didn't matter. Why take us through all of this change to allow black people to vote if it doesn't matter? Let them vote. I mean, shit, it don't matter. I mean, I don't get it.
I think before it got tainted, it may have some validity to it before, all of these electronic things and casting got into the play, and they can do what they want to do with these elected votes that they getting. So I don't know, but at the same token, all I know is like I was saying before, we've been voting. I didn't voted before. These two people don't fit my script. But at the same time, nothing's changed. We still in poverty. We still at the bottom of the totem pole. Our people changed. Still ain't changed for the good for us.
Things have changed though.
Hold on one second.
What's changed?
Would that be all? Did that answer your question?
Yes.
All right. Thank you for calling, and thank you for watching our show.
Things have changed. I have a better life than my father had. Right. I've been afforded a better living conditions than my father grew up with. I had a different upbringing and school system than my father did. I was able to get different loans that my father was never capable of getting. So things have changed for sure.
It's just that things are changing. Like he said, I mean, my granddad didn't even finish college, didn't even finish high school because he got drafted to go to the war. So in my family, I'm the first male on my side to even graduate high school and go to college. So, I mean, things have changed, but it's a lot of change that still needs to happen. But we also have to make those changes, do something to make those changes ourselves. We got to do whatever it takes. And sitting out and not voting, if you don't want to vote for the president, like I said, that's fine. There's other things on that ballot that needs to be voted for. There's those local elections that need to be voted on. You don't have to vote for the president. You don't like the president? Fine, go ahead. But make sure that you vote on the other things that's on there. Because those other things is going to be set up for times when you leave this earth and your kids are here.
Okay, let me piggyback off what you guys said. You said your life is better. You said you have changed. People have changed, but the system has never changed. The system has been what it's been since 1938.
That's not true, though.
People have changed.
How is that true?
Not the system. The system has not changed.
The system didn't allow us to vote.
No, the system
didn't allow us to eat at restaurants with white
folks.
No,
people. That wasn't the system because it was the law of the republic. It was not. It wasn't the law. The laws didn't change. It was the people changed, the ones that wanted it to be a democracy. Because we was Republicans in the beginning. We was all Republicans because you know why? Because the Republicans was the ones that held up the laws of the land. It was the democracy. It was the Democrats that was going around saying that this person did this crime and we're going to hang him from this tree. Okay? Then was the Democrats because it was a democracy. It was about the majority rules, right? What the majority want is what ruled. So that's who was stringing us up from the trees. It wasn't the Republic because the Republic had to follow the laws of the land. So this is why we got it all twisted. And if you do your research, you will see they killed all the Republican brothers that was coming out of the states that we was running back then when we did have the law of the land. And then they created the Constitution. And then they created it to where as though we was 3/5. So that's why we really need to get rid of the Constitution and do away with that because it doesn't give us any privy. That's why they can do what they want to us and they're not being charged.
But you just proved that things have changed.
What have changed?
It changed from a republic.
Not the law.
It changed from a republic.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, the law. That's what I said, since 1938.
Right, so things are changing, and it's a continual change. That's something that's constant is change. Things are definitely changing. I mean, is it changing?
It ain't changed in our lifetime. Has it changed in your lifetime?
Oh, yeah.
No, it hasn't.
My grandmother was a
slave. The laws have not changed in our lifetime.
My grandmother was a slave.
That's why with these votes, you know, the laws is still remaining the same. We still getting unjust treatment. They still slaughtering us out in the middle of the streets.
That ain't got nothing to do with the law. That got to do with the people.
That got to do with the laws allowing them to do it.
And that's what scares me the
most. You
understand
what I'm saying? They're allowing them.
But that's what scares me the most about Trump. What did he say? If he got in, what would he do with cops?
Give them all the
I don't
so
believe in
you
that.
know what that means, right?
I didn't vote for him.
Who they shoot?
but I ain't vote for him.
You didn't vote against him either.
Exactly.
I'm voting against
so whatever they
that
do
would say something so ridiculous.
You see what I'm saying?
I don't care what the other candidate was on, but somebody to say that and be like open and like for everybody to hear that. Like if you are an African American person that heard that, it should scared the life out of you.
I didn't hear him say it.
He said it. I
didn't
heard
hear
him say it.
But at the same time, I didn't vote for him anyway.
It don't matter.
Because this is the point that I'm making. When these electoral votes hit, then that's what's going to count, period. It's not going to change anything. They already know who's going to be the president.
Again,
Trust and believe that.
What I'm saying is,
whether it's Trump or if it's Kamala, it's going to be. They already got it. They already got it.
Say her name
all
right,
I'm saying
Kamala.
is Kamala.
Well, I don't
Kamala.
care what her name
Kamala.
is because I don't support neither one of them.
And you don't have to support it. But my thing is that if you don't do anything, you're doing something.
That's right.
No, and that's what I'm saying. You're doing something.
Yes,
people
I am
say,
doing something.
I'm not voting for either one of them.
Yes, I am doing something.
You're still doing something.
Yes, I am doing something.
And you're doing exactly what the people want you to do. The powers that be want us to feel like it's no hope. But then, to me, this goes back to what's your faith line. Because
the people,
to do
what they're
nothing
doing,
means I'm faithless. It's because my vote doesn't matter. So I don't believe I matter. So why do I even vote? You know what I'm saying? Like,
the question is, do we actually matter? I mean,
yes, I do.
I know my vote matters. So
yes, I do.
But you got to look at what this promotes.
Until they tell me my vote don't matter, my vote matters.
And
I'm
all for it.
And that's what I'm going with.
But all I see this election, all I see in this election and what it's creating.
Hold on a second.
All I see in this election and what it's creating is segregation, separation amongst each other. That's what this election is doing, and that's what it does every 4 years. It creates separation amongst each other because of our own personal values and beliefs, instead of us coming together like we should. So these are other tools that they have implemented in our society to create separation, just like religion, just like any other thing they create to separate our people.
But see,
that's why it's the disconnect for me, because I see what it does for our people and to our people.
Let me say this: I don't believe that, because everybody have opinions, and if that's your opinion, that's your opinion. But what I don't like about it is if I ask you why you got to get mad at me. That's your opinion. I don't care. Yeah.
Right.
I don't care if you choose not to vote.
Man,
that's just your opinion. But I'm gonna give you the reason why I feel like you should vote. It don't matter. You may not.
Right.
But we're gonna end it on that note because our time is almost up. But I'm gonna go ahead and let you say what you got to say with our final thoughts. And
I say my final thoughts is. Instead of every 4 years, it's the same thing. Instead of everybody needs to come together as a nation of people, stop being separated. I'm seeing people screaming at babies at rallies. I'm like, this is too much.
What's your final thought?
My final thought is that I'm one of those believers that, segregation ain't too bad for me. As long as it's equal rights. I'm for equal rights. Segregation, people that look like me, think like me, I'm all for it.
And my final thoughts is just like I was saying prior. We just gotta, we gotta get smarter, man. We gotta stop the separation, man. And come together, and value each other's opinion. Because I value your opinion and I value your right. I value yours and your right. King Trib, your values and your rights. And that's what's gonna help us, come together and make a strong community, not just voting. It's about getting ourselves together and accepting each other's differences and embracing that.
All right. Well, my final thought is, again, I feel like we all are Americans. We all are Americans, whether you Republican, Democrat, black, white, whatever. This show, we talk about everything. We thank you for letting us come in and entertain you for this past hour, but we're no political analysts by any means. These are just our opinions. So with that, thank you, and we'll see you next time.
All right, everybody.
To Talk Show Kings on TV 1061.
Man, what they gonna do with this black on black crime, man? I'm sick of this. Thank you for watching another edition of Talk Show Kings on TV 1061. We'll be seeing you soon.